I know for me, early in my career, one of the biggest mistakes I made is that I only prospected when I felt like I had time. Well, here's the problem. If I didn't make time, everybody else would claw in and take that time from me. And here's what it would look like. It'd be somebody in the office walking and say, "Hey, can I pick your brain about something for a minute?" Or it would be my manager saying, "Hey, I need a report. Can you get that over to me?" Or it would be a customer saying, "I need to talk about my policy." And all these things sound loud and urgent in the moment, but they may not be as urgent as you think you are. And by if you allow those things to chew up your time, by the end of the week, there's nothing left for finding new customers. So, what I'm going to talk you through is how to create space in your week so that you're not too busy servicing, not too busy doing other things that need to get done, and you're making time for prospecting. Let's get into it. So here's the deal in sales, and I don't know why this is, but it seems like something gets in the water and everybody wants to talk about insurance all at once. It's like the government pours something into the water mains, everybody drinks it and says, I need to think about insurance. I need to talk about it right now. And so you'll go for months, get no leads, or it'll be really hard. And then you'll have 2 weeks where it seems like everybody needs to talk all at once. And it's feast or famine. And I've been through this with my wife for 16 years now. She just ignores me at this point. But I'll go through these emotional cycles, and every 3 months it'll feel like I'm never going to write something again. And then every 3 months I'll feel like I'm a golden god and I can bring the moon down to earth if I wanted. That's just part of the sales cycle. And so one of the things that we're trying to do is create some consistency through that chaos. So there's a little bit more balance. And one of the ways to create that consistency is to have consistent habits and specifically consistent prospecting habits so that your pipeline stays steady. It really helps with those emotional swings if your pipeline's not doing this. If you're going from really empty to saying, I got to make 1,000 cold calls this week to I have absolutely no time. I'm making zero cold calls. That's a tough place to live over the long term. But one of the things that gets in our way is prioritizing work. See, here's the thing about prospecting. Everybody knows it's important. Everybody says it's important. Nobody likes it. So it's high importance, but probably low urgency. And maybe you've seen these types of quadrants before. There's importance and urgency. There's high importance and high urgency. There's low importance and low urgency. And then there's the other sides. And so what happens is we will be interrupted through the day. And there will be something that will seem like it's very urgent and somebody needs an answer and it feels like they need it right now. See, and this is the problem with emails is that you get something in your inbox and I know I feel this way. My automatic instinct is, oh, I got to answer it. I got to answer it right now. They're waiting for me to get back to them. But maybe it's not that important. But everything feels like it's very, very urgent. See, nobody is going to go walk into your office and say, "Hey, did you make those cold calls yet? Did you make those cold calls yet? Did you make those cold calls yet?" It's low urgency. Nobody's going to keep poking and prodding you until your sales manager asks you where the sales are coming from, right? But people are going to poke and prod you and say, "Hey, I'm standing at the car lot and I need to get proof of auto insurance, or I bought this building, I need to get it added, or I canceled for non-payment. How do I get this fixed?" And they're just going to keep banging on you and banging on you and banging on you until they get what you need. So what we're trying to do is separate those things that feel like they're high urgency, but maybe are lower importance and carve out time so that we are consistently making the calls that nobody is going to going to bang on you about, but you're really going to regret if you don't get it done. So we all know what the risks are if we skip those cold calls. We're going to feel it 3 to 4 months from now. And we're going to feel it when our pipeline is thin and we're wondering where the next deal is coming from, which as a salesperson m- might be the worst feeling in the world. It's either that or losing a large account. It's somewhere in the beginning, but it feels like a combination of starving and drowning at the same time. And so we're trying to avoid that feeling. at all cost. And the only way to do it is through this preventative work of prospecting and getting in front of customers. There's no shortcuts. And it's your pipeline is always a lagging indicator of the work that you did 3 months ago. So, what we need to do is carve out time in our day to day habits to get into that highly important, low urgent work that's going to create the long term effects that we want, which is a full pipeline and good sales numbers. And the best way to do that is time blocking. Now, maybe you've heard this term, maybe you haven't. Here's what it means it means you look at your calendar every week and you plan it out in advance and you block out time in your calendar and you say, non negotiable during this time, I am doing this. See, we do this for meeting with prospects. We do this for meeting with customers. We do this when we have to go to the dentist or the doctor. But for some reason, we don't consistently do it with prospecting. And what we need to do is consistently block out time in our calendars, have a date with the prospecting girl so that we're getting dates in the opportunity pipeline. That's what it comes down to. We have to create that time in our week every week, or we won't get the results that we want. For some reason, it's okay in our mind to block it out to go meet with a prospect and do all these other things, but we have a hard time. I know I have a hard time doing it to say, I'm going to just sit down and block it out and make calls. So then I guess one of the questions is, well, how much time do you need to block out? And really what it comes down to is you got to know your numbers. How many calls are you going to need to make in order to get the results that you want? And so if you need, let's say, 6 qualifying calls in a week, and you know that in 20 calls, you're probably going to talk to 3 decision makers. And of those 3 decision makers, maybe one is going to proceed. You can map out your numbers from there so that you know how many prospecting calls you need to make in order to get the desired number of qualifying calls. And when you know that number, how many calls do you need to make? You know how much time you need to map out. I'll tell you that I can make about 20 cold calls in an hour. That's about 3 minutes per call. And I think that's about reasonable because the whole goal of making calls is to try and get someone on the phone and talk to them. Also, the phone's going to ring for about a minute. And if you leave a voicemail, that just takes time. So I don't know how you make 60 calls in an hour. 20 is about right. And I'll say for me to keep my pipeline full, I probably need to make 100 to 150 calls in a week, every week. So what does that map out to? 5 to 7 hours of prospecting. So what does that look like? That for me, that looks like 10:30 to 12, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm making cold calls and probably an hour-long block on Friday. And that's it. That leaves so much time for doing everything else that is urgent and that people are asking us to do. Here's the amazing thing. All that stuff that we feel is so urgent and so important, usually it can wait an hour. It doesn't need to happen right now. Just like if somebody asks you for a certificate when you're in the middle of a qualification meeting, they can wait an hour for that. Just treat prospecting the same way. Give it the same amount of urgency. You'll get the results that you want, and then it'll all balance out. See, here's the thing when you block out time, it feels like you just created time in your calendar because you know that, okay, during this time I'm prospecting, during this time I'm doing qualifying calls, during this time I'm doing admin. And when your brain gets to focus and stop switching from task to task to task to task, you get more done. You get into deep flow and deep work. You'll get stuff off your desk. It'll feel way better. All right. I hope that was helpful. If it was, hit like and subscribe. It helps other people find the content. If you've got thoughts or comments, drop them in the comments section. I respond to everything. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Please go build something great.